Hey guys, welcome back to Whiskey Blooded. My name is Dave. Thanks for joining me here today. Guess what? We have a new format. I don't know if you guys noticed, hopefully on your end, the clarity of this video is better. So, funny story, I am a complete idiot and I own a Nikon D5500. I bought one for my wife like 2 or 3 years ago for way too much money. I think it was north of $1,000. And apparently you can shoot video on them. And I've been shooting them on this little handheld thing. And then I've been watching a couple other YouTubers and trying to learn a little bit. And you can do video on a Nikon and it's supposed to come out really freaking good. So I hope this looks good. Hopefully all this right here isn't ruining it for you guys. So welcome back to the new and improved Whiskey Blooded. In the near future, I will actually learn how to edit videos too. The last time I edited videos was when I was in my early 20s. So God knows how you do it nowadays. I will figure that out. Whether I have to tell someone or I have to pull someone in to show me how to do that, or whether I have to just learn how to do it on my own. So I also lied to you guys a little bit last week. So we're here back with our weekly review. I said I'd do these Jeffersons in sequential order. It's going to take way too freaking long. So we're just going to go in and we're going to do the entire thing today. So today's review is going to be a complete overview and an overall kind of rating on this entire Jefferson's wood experiment. And for those of you that didn't watch last week's video or are turning in for the first time, number one, thank you. Number two, this is a release from Jefferson's from earlier this year, third quarter, and this is their wood experiment. So it just goes through five different experimental whiskeys that Jefferson's has, and they're just trying out. It was $100, good value, cool package, cool bottle, cool idea, and different things that they do. So I'm going to rip through all of these. I'm not going to give a review on each of them, just the entire thing overall. I think that's going to be more fun for my viewers, for you guys, and I hope you enjoy. So we've got 5 empty glasses. We've got a water bottle. We've already tried the first one, so we'll still try that one again, but let's go through this here real quick. So, package itself, you saw last week, but there it is. Oh, front, back. Actually, you guys might actually be able to see this now this week. There's the back. Okay. Comes in these little bottles. Now the bottles themselves, let's just pull them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 bottles of whiskey for Wednesday. And we'll take this and we'll put this down there. So let's just pour each one of them and then we'll talk about them as we go. This is my scorecard for the end in case you're wondering what that is. That's the normal scorecard I use with you guys. And my video setup's a little different here today. So we're gonna move some stuff down. Still getting used to that. So first one, let's move that there. This is the one we tried last week. Actually, let's do this. Let's pour each of them, small amounts. We'll talk about them as we go. Interesting thing I noticed on these. Oh, there we go. The seal isn't that great on these bottles. Alright, got 5 of these glasses here. And then, as I mentioned, we've got a wash glass over here. So between drinks, we will wash out our mouth. My mouth. Our mouth. We don't collectively own my mouth. Alright, so the first one here. So let's kind of, let me see how this looks here. This looks okay. This doesn't look awful. So as you see what I'm drinking, let's just kind of go like that there. I think that works. The first one we tried last week, this is the new 60-gallon American oak barrel with a low deep impact toast profile. So it's 8 more gallons than a traditional barrel. It's bigger. As I mentioned last week, the smell is very good. A little spice, a little caramel, a little honey. The taste is the same. And in the very middle and then near the back actually, sorry, the middle to end of the finish, you get this like weird, really earthy flavor. Like an earthy mint, almost metallic taste at the end. So I liked it other than that. So still have the same opinion of that now that I've tried it again this week. Have a little water, move on to the second one. You know what? I tried this one. I forgot I tried this one. So the second one, Wood Experiment number 4. Wood Experiment number 4 is a new standard whiskey barrel with medium char infused with heavily charred American oak cubes. So medium char barrel, heavily charred oak cubes. The nose, lots of wood, like a lot of wood. Like smelling a spiced, like a woody spiced molasses. But definitely a lot of wood. The taste is the same. The finish, the same as the nose, rather. The finish is nice and meaty and hot cinnamon. Right up front, I taste the caramel and the honey, just like the other ones. And then after that, it opens up into some of the wood with a nice bite on the finish that's like some heated cinnamon, some wood. I like that one more than the first, definitely. No weird finish on that one for me. This next one, I haven't tried yet. So this is experiment number 6. Experiment number 6 is new standard whiskey barrel, so standard whiskey barrel, with a light medium char infused with lightly toasted American oak staves. Now what does this sound like, ladies and gentlemen? This sounds like Maker's 46. Let's see if it smells and tastes like that. Now on the nose, I do get a lot more honey. I do get a lot more caramel. So that's familiar to Maker's 46. The reason I say it's like Maker's 46 is that does the same thing. They use those oak staves. Definitely familiar on the nose there. Some cinnamon, some caramel, lots of honey, lots of lighter notes. The taste itself, very also much like Maker's 46, but I may like this more. This up front, it's like sucking on a Werther's. It's very caramel, it's very honey. It coats your mouth, and then after that, it opens up into some good wood, burn, and spice. And you don't actually see a lot of that, or taste a lot of that with the Maker's 46. It's more smooth all the way through. This has a nice burn to it. At the very end of it, those two kind of blend together with just a very, very subtle hint of like maybe some charred burned sugar at the end. Oh, let me clear here. Next up, experiment number 10. A custom 60-gallon, oh, this is why it's custom, 60-gallon French and American oak hybrid barrel with a low, deep impact toast profile. So that's interesting. French and American hybrid oak. Oh, I already poured it. I don't know what I'm doing here. These videos are hard to do when you have so many to do in a row. So let's smell this one. Now the nose on this one, I get a lot more fruit, like a lot of fruit. Caramel, honey, banana, pear. Almost like a little mustard smell to it, like mustard seed smell. Now the taste on that one, up front Up front, it's caramel, it's honey, it's a little oak. But then after that, it's like different for me. It's like I'm biting into like a bad fruit. It's got this like spoiled apple taste almost to it. So I do taste some of that fruit. It just doesn't blend with the other tastes very well. A little too much on the fruit side for me. Like apple, it's got a flowery taste to it, earthy notes coming through. So perhaps that French oak has a lot more of those floral, earthy flavors in it. If I had to guess, I don't know. But that's what it tastes like to me. More floral, more earthy, you know, like lots of dried light fruit. Last one. This is number 12. This is the original bourbon barrel with oak inserts that have been toasted over a long period of time to infuse the bourbon. Okay? Oak inserts that have been toasted over a long period of time to infuse the bourbon. Oak inserts. So how is that different from the staves? Maybe the staves are built into the barrel. Maybe these inserts, they could literally just be inserted into like the barrel. Maybe not just dropped into the liquid, but maybe there's like just an insert. They stick it in the bottom and then they fill it after that. I don't know. We'll be interested to see what the difference is there. So let's try this. Interesting. Lots of cinnamon. It smells like a hot damn to me. Lots of cinnamon, lots of honey, spice, wood. Lots of cinnamon for me though. And it tastes very much the same. Up front, it's that very familiar initial hit that we've seen throughout here. It's oak and it's honey. It's a little bit sweet. And then after that, that cinnamon char, that burn sets in, and it's like a some more of that burnt sugar. But this time it hits right in the middle, and then it opens up with a lot of oak, a lot of toasted oak flavor, which I really like. And then the finish. It's a little bit shorter on this one, but the finish has, you know, some little bit of tobacco undertones, just a subtle hint of some of those earthy undertones, and it kind of blends together pretty nicely. I'm not sure which one I like the most. I would probably actually say this last one or not the Maker's 46. I don't want to put Jefferson's down here, but the one that's like Maker's 46 with the American oak staves. So what have I learned? Maybe I like these inserts, these staves and these inserts. Maybe that adds a flavor that meets my profile correctly. What do I think about this whole thing? What do I think about this whole experiment, this whole package, this $100 thing that I picked up? I think it's a phenomenal value. As far as volume goes, you're getting the normal amount of alcohol for about that price point with a Jefferson's, by the way, which is a slightly more expensive bourbon. I think it's a great value. I think it's a great gift for a bourbon lover for Christmas. I think it's a phenomenal gift for a bourbon lover for Christmas because they're not easy to find these, but they're around right now. You should be able to find them if you really want to. And they're not going to do these forever, and they're experimental, so they could go away. A lot of people really go after some of these experimental projects because it's rare. It won't be around again. It's not going to be mass produced in the future. It's not part of their regular standing line. So I think it's a phenomenal thing for those reasons. Now, is it the best bourbon I've ever drank? Of course not. These are experimental. They're meant to figure out what consumers like, number one. Also a little marketing ploy, I'm sure, but also gives them an idea and a way to kind of have some fun at work. Think about working at a place like this, and I'm sure it's a great job, but also it's fairly redundant when you're making the same liquid every day. So I'm sure for them it's really fun to do these experimental projects to see, well, what else can we do to increase our product and try something different. As far as the overall score that I would give to this, I'm satisfied. I really am. I'm going to say, number one, I think that overall price, everything, there's really nothing negative I can say about it. A couple of these just had some weird balances to them. So that's the only mark I'm taking off is for some of the flavor on some of them. But I'm going to say a solid, I hate these cards. Did I ever tell you guys that? I hate them. I'm going to say a solid 90 out of 100. I think if I was you guys, if you wanted to try something new, buy it. If you're not a collector or you're not looking to get into bourbon, you're just looking and saying, oh, maybe I'll try this Jefferson's, I would probably still pick this up because you can just try one of these, and if you don't like it, give it to someone, and they'll appreciate that. Great holiday present, like I mentioned. Great overall presentation. I hope you guys like this little new format. I will try to do some editing here next week. It's been lots of fun doing this for you guys. I'm very happy that I'm going into my second holiday season now doing Whiskey Blooded. That just makes me extremely happy. So thanks, guys. I will see you next week. Next week, maybe even this weekend. The next review will be at a very, very aggressive request from one of our viewers. Next review will be the Tin Cup Whiskey. So I will see you guys next time. Thanks for joining me. My name is Dave. This has been Whiskey Blooded. Have yourself a great Wednesday and enjoy your weekend.